What's up, world? Thank you so much for tuning in to Kicking It with Lyrick Official. Make sure you like, comment, and also subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. Listen, I love to hear from my viewers. If you have any content ideas or anybody that you feel like I should be interviewing, make sure you email me at kickingitwithlyrickofficial@gmail.com. Again, it's kickingitwithlyrickofficial@gmail.com. Listen, I love you all. And to all my evolutionary manifestors, make sure you continue working, continue evolving, and continue transforming into the person that you were designed to be. Ashe, 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 ashe.
Wait, if this what you want, baby, okay. Yeah, yeah. You don't say what you want, and now it's too late. 'Cause you're right outside. Let you up, lay you down. It's just us. He lost your touch. All to me, all to me. Oh, he still don't make you feel beautiful. I know, but I do. Just know I got you. He still don't even give you enough. It's true. In my room, I ain't gonna stop you. He still don't make you feel beautiful. I know, but I do. Just know I got you. He still don't even give you enough. It's true. In my room, I ain't gonna stop you.
Kickin' is beautiful. Birthdays in June, you know it's coming soon, you know. Baby, I do anything like Urkel, baby. Tell me if it's worth it, 'cause I'm worth it, baby. I do anything for you. Promise with the ring for you. Hand around a circle, make it blink for you. For you, yeah. Travel around the world for you. Bottom of the ocean, find a pearl for you. Fix your lips to tell me no. Then came colors coming up, mixing purple and blue before sun is coming up. Laying under the moon, walking is dangerous. Where is your shame in this? I'm changing names and shit. Halo around your head, ain't been feeling the same. Can't even recognize yourself, you remember your name. Tagging is beautiful. Birthdays in June, you know it's coming soon, you know. So you say what's up and I say hello. Today we climbed a tree, got so high you are. The way floating down, you escape, floating down. Cigar dreams, yeah, all of those games. So you may wave your hands, I say bye bye, bye bye. Walking in those Neverlands where they say hi. Sometimes I cry, but that's alright, alright. Like denim jeans in the night, I'm always gonna survive. It's a vibe. I'm surviving. I'm surviving. I'm gonna survive. It's a vibe. I'm surviving. I'm surviving. Oh.
Warning. The alleged views expressed in this interview and or commentary are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not directly represent or reflect the opinions of the Kicking It with Lyrick Official show, its hosts, or affiliates. Content may contain strong language. Viewers' discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? We are back with the Kicking It with Lyric Official show. We have been gone for over 2 weeks, and I am excited to finally be back live for you all. We have an amazing guest today, Shahil. Oh my God, Shahil. I'm gonna say it right. I don't want him to get mad at me. We have an amazing guest today, an amazing healer. We're going to get right off into it, you all. I am so excited. Make sure you like, comment, and also subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload new content. And as you all know, I have two amazing co-hosts that I love dearly that I cannot do this with out. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and bring them up. Look, I done already start freezing, y'all. I done start freezing. Look, I'm gonna have to go ahead and turn my cam off real quick. It's tripping on me. But look, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna bring up my co-host and we about to make it happen.
Dos, tres, cuatro.
Yes, what's up, my babies?
Hello.
How have y'all
What up,
been, y'all?
everybody?
It's been a few it's been a few weeks since we've been able to link. How have y'all been?
Amazing.
I've been great. I just had a birthday, so I'm great.
I know it is the
Yes.
goddess's birthday month. Oh yeah, we're gonna get off into that beautiful. I'm gonna make sure we give you your flowers while you are here. All right. Let's get into these
Don't throw them at
beautiful
my
looks. Let's get into these beautiful looks as y'all are looking amazing. First, I want to go with the beautiful Tasha the Gemini. Go ahead and explain this beautiful red hair.
Well, you told me what I was swallowing, so yeah. So in the summertime, I usually go read. So I tried a new do, the little knot bun. So,
Yeah.
hope y'all like the red on me. Hope y'all like it.
Yes, baby, it is beautiful. And I've always told you red was your color. It has always been your color.
And that red is fire.
Ain't it? Onyx, go ahead and explain your amazing look in this custom unit.
Okay, so this is one of my new custom units. This is my body wave. And then the eye makeup is the trans flag. So it's Pride Month, so why not?
Period. Pride Month. We are representing heavy, baby. We are about to have an amazing show. You both look beautiful. I've missed your energy. I missed your vibe. And we're about to have fun today. All right. And this is my favorite section of the show. It is Saturday and it is Pride Month. So I am drinking a little early. I don't care what nobody got to say about it. All right. Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into talking about what's in your glass. So if my camera will permit me to go ahead and come back on, let's see if it's gonna act right. Or am I gonna be free? I'm still freezing. You can see a little bit of it. I got something in my glass. I got a little bit of margarita mix in my glass. What do you have in your glass, beautiful Onyx?
I'm drinking an Angry Orchard today, and I have my straw. So,
classy. Gotta be classy with the straw. I'm loving it. Tasha, the beautiful Gemini, what do you have in your glass?
Well, in my Gemini cup, of course, I have some pineapple juice with some cut up strawberries in it. Wanted to intake my fruit today. And of course, since it's still my birthday, I got the fireball in the flask.
Look, you ready for, what? We need to get you a Fireball endorsement, baby. It's about time for Fireball to pay you a little something for you. You've been advertising. Listen, y'all, we are going to have an amazing show for real. And we've been gone for a while and some things have transpired. So it's some things that I kind of want to touch bases on for you all that may not know. There was a situation that recently happened with a young boy
who was basically abused by his family just for being gay. And I've been following the story just to wanted to update you all on some things that was taking place. If you haven't heard the story, this is the picture of the young man. You see they botched his haircut up. They cut gay in the side of his head. It was a lot going on. We do have some updates on the story though. Thanks to the beautiful Hope Giselle. Hope
Yes.
Giselle is actually she's an activist. She's a part of the LGBTQ plus community. She's an amazing voice for us all. She basically let it be known that she was not going to allow this to rest until something took place and this young man was put in like a safer environment. So she
Yes.
connected with Devin Barrington Ward. Devin Barrington Ward, he is the candidate for Atlanta City Council, District 9. They work together, and we have some amazing updates so far. He is now out of that environment, okay? But to
Amen.
let you all know, this is only the beginning, okay? Now that he is out of that environment, we want to make sure that he's placed in a great home. And, whoever he is placed with, make sure that they have the resources needed. And, to get him in, they want to get him in counseling and make sure everything's okay with him and, his mental state. They want to make sure that they have the sources. So right now they're trying to hold Georgia DFACS accountable, still making those phone calls to say, yeah, we've gotten him out of that environment, but let's make sure this continues. Because as we know,
Mhm.
unfortunately, the system sometimes, well, a lot of times, does
Mhm.
not, carry through the way that they need to carry through. So Todrick Hall stated that that he would adopt him along with Amanda Seals. She stated that she wanted to be a part of making sure that he was good and okay. So she literally is challenging everything. Put your money where your mouth is. If you say you're gonna help, make sure you help. All right.
I'm telling you.
So he's in a good environment. We're trying to get him in a good environment now. I'm just so happy to see that everybody band together to make sure something happened. Tasha, before we
Yeah.
start the interview, I know that you are a parent of a child that recently came out, and I kind of wanted to hear how that made you feel just to see this take place.
Man, the moment I saw it, because I knew you were gonna post it after I seen it on Instagram, and I couldn't do nothing but I know most people couldn't watch it all the way through, but I
Yeah,
was stuck watching, and I was
yeah,
like, it could have been me, but my son, he was scared to tell me because he did not know what my reaction would be because I've tried
yeah,
so many years to keep him heterosexual because I didn't understand the LGBT
yeah,
community. I didn't understand it. So I had my different thoughts about it. But when
yeah,
he did come out, it was just like, oh, okay. But that made our relationship so much stronger. And it was just it was heartbreaking
yeah,
to watch
yeah,
him go through that. Like I could not, I barely even discipline my kids, when they don't clean up the room or whatever. But for them to say something that is as sensitive as that, there's no way I just could not do that to my son. I
yeah,
could not see
yeah,
myself. It
yeah,
was violent. To
yeah.
me, it was
It
violent.
was.
And
It
smacking him in the
was.
face. It hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
It hurt.
It did. I'm gonna tell you, y'all. It triggered me. It made me go back to some stuff that that I have been through and that I've experienced. So it was very triggering to me. Yeah, and I had to step outside of those emotions and do what I could to help and be of assistance. Onyx, how did it make you feel?
Oh, it broke my heart, honestly. Um, it just shows you how cruel people can be.
Yeah.
But there's hope.
Yes.
They got him out of the
Absolutely.
situation.
Yeah.
They're getting him help, so there's hope there. But it's sad that this is still happening. It's
Yes.
2021 and stuff like this is still happening.
Yes. And you know what? Our guest, our guest here, I do want to get Shahil's perspective on it. on what took place and stuff like that. And we're going to get off into some other things, including shadow work, because I think the parents need some dang shadow work. All of them
Parents,
need
brothers,
it.
sisters.
All of them
We
need
need
some
some, yeah.
shadow work, y'all. Let's look at the comments. It said it was hard to watch. I felt for his life. They acted like he murdered a wild family. These are a whole family. These are the folks we talk about in the black community. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Listen, y'all,
yes.
we're gonna get into it. Because I do want to speak with Shahil, and we're gonna get off into the interview, but I do want to see his perspective as well. But let's go ahead and make this happen. I want you all to know Shahil is powerful. I look up, I really look up to him, and I've learned a lot from him. A lot of correcting things, y'all. When I tell you, like, I've been corrected in so many ways, and I've learned so many things, and I love his presence, and I'm thankful for him. And I feel like this is a celebration for him, for me, for me, and I'm thankful that he agreed to be on the show.
Yes.
So just to give y'all an example of one of the first things that I saw when I first got a chance to interact with him, looking at his page, this is how great Shahil is. All right.
Do y'all see this? You can't tell me that my friend is not a master, powerful healer.
You are a powerful, powerful being, and I don't want to wait any longer. I want you all to experience Shahil as well. So without further ado, my brother Shahil. Hey, 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 hey.
Welcome.
See, look, don't you're gonna have me in tears as well. Oh,
Okay.
oh. You are so
We
powerful.
told
I'm
you. We
so
told you.
happy that you are here.
um, I was not expecting that. Peace and blessings and gratitude for your acknowledgement of my presence within the collective. You just side railed me with that. I wasn't ready.
You deserve it. You
Oh my
deserve it.
goodness. And honestly, for me,
Yeah.
I just want to say something really quickly. For
Yeah.
me, that was a reminder to celebrate myself
Yeah.
because a lot of times I get so enthralled with needing to hold space for other people,
Mm,
wanting to see them transform and evolve,
yes.
that I don't even celebrate my small wins. So
Mm,
for that, and even with that video, I didn't even know I was being recorded. I was just doing my thing. So I wasn't doing that for clout or like, I didn't even know my friend was recording me. But just that was a part of my journey when I was kind of really going through a lot of things.
yeah.
And I wasn't really celebrating myself. I was just constantly being drained and drained and drained. Well, allowing myself to be drained because I made the choice
Yeah.
to, operate from a place of needing to be a savior.
Wow.
So for you to start that off with that was like a huge smack in the face. Yes, the divine has used you to
Yeah.
reinforce a message that I've been getting for the past month, which is celebrate yourself. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And what's crazy, and that's something me, Onyx, Tasha, we've talked about before. We get so focused on a lot of things, we don't sit back and just look at what we've accomplished and what we've done. We've allowed spirit to do through us. You get what I'm saying? And you deserve it. I'm telling you, you just don't know the place that I was in when I found you. Oh, I was in such a like a limbo place, and you brought such sweet. I call it sweet correction.
Mm-hmm.
It was so sweet because I needed to hear it. I knew I needed it. But you were so graceful with it.
And you know what? And I would like to say that I remember the first time that, because you know, hundreds of thousands of people pull at me at one time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love being able to. It could be a crowd full of people, and I'm going to be drawn to people based off their energy, their vibrations, the purity of their heart. And I remember the first time I interacted with you, I was on the live doing readings, which is something I don't really do. I was on the live doing readings, and your energy just kept screaming at me, and I was like, who is this? So I got off the live, I went to your page, I'm like, oh my God, like it was just this familiar energy. And just this level of this purity that I felt and this deep soul connection that I felt, you know, it's 100 and some comments going on. I was like, who is this lyric person? And it was like his energy is pulling at me, but not pulling at me. It was pulling at me in a beautiful way. It was one of those things where, you know, you know that you have connected with your tribe. It was just me, and I was just like. And I just remember saying to myself, I was like, oh, he's getting ready to bring something very, very special to the collective. And to see where you were then versus where you are now is absolutely beautiful, because I have definitely noticed the exponential growth within you just from us connecting via social media. Your path is very rapid fire. You know, you're one of those people who chose to really kind of excel through your transformation at a very fast pace, because it puts you in a position to do this, be of service. So kudos to you and all of you too. Kudos to you.
Thank you. Yes, period.
For your growth. And again, thank you for creating such a beautiful space where people can come and share their stories. And not only that, you've created a space where people are coming in and releasing and, you know, repressed emotions, and just healing is taking place. Like, I mean, every show that I've seen has been absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. Like,
and thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Of course, like I had to, because this what I wanted to do was, you know, a lot of people, they don't know the journey, they don't know how to link in, and I really didn't know, you know, what I was doing, you know, starting this journey out. And I've been able and blessed to connect with some amazing people like you, Shahil. And it was like, okay, now create a platform to where they can be seen so other people can see them as well. And it may, you know, will ignite growth in them as well. So it's like, let's bridge that gap. Let's bridge that gap. You are amazing. And for those who do not know your amazingness, can you please introduce yourself and you know, explain what you do?
Okay. Almost.
You can let it out, baby.
Can we curse on here?
We can curse on here, baby. We free.
You know what? I still have challenges sometimes when it comes to people saying, "What do you do?" or "Who will tell us about yourself?" and I say that because I'm no different than anyone else. Like, we're so infinite. And it's hard to really even to ascribe to a title because we're so multifaceted. But just from as far as the work that I've done within the community for the past 8 years, I am a shamanic healer and teacher and spiritual guide, an ascension guide. So I specialize in many different holistic practices, many different energy healing techniques. The foundation of a lot of my work has been in shadow work, inner child work, ancestral work, past life healing, things along those lines. That's been the foundation of my work. It's not that I'm just limited to that.
Right.
Of course, I've also, you know, I've done readings. I create healing products for people. So basically, I am that I am. And at this current moment, the consciousness that I'm kind of rooted in, that I have been embracing, has been the archetype of the shaman. So I am officially, I am a legitimate shaman. And I've basically been taking my path through that and used it as a foundation to help people heal.
Baby, and you've helped. But I wish I had like y'all could have seen what I was like before I met these amazing individuals, including Shalom, who is in the comments.
Hey, Shalom.
I have to give you your love.
And so, really quickly, and I wanted to, because I know we're going to jump into this, and what I wanted to just point out to you, Lyrick, is that you have allowed yourself, you have created a space where you have empowered yourself through your own journey. Though you have come across powerful people who have influenced you or who have given you messages that you resonate with, I have literally seen you go in and actually do the work. Like, you ain't ever booked not one reading from me. But like, it's like you one of those people who like, you know what, I see it. Yeah. I can apply this to my life, and I'm going to shift it and change it. And that is what it is all about. Like, when you can be able to, like I tell people all the time, there's plenty of people out here who learn from me, who don't book sessions, who don't work with me closely, but they take those gems and they apply it to their life and they do their own work, which is the goal. You know what I mean?
But you know what? You taught me that, though, because I'm going to tell you, this is the first thing, because I used to try to reach out to people needing help and all this. The first thing you said that stuck out to me, you was like, go in and do it yourself. You know, you had, and literally I was sitting, I was like, oh, God. It's like, go in, you have everything on the inside of you to do what you need to do. Your journey is your journey. Like, go after it. And I held on to that message. It's like, if you know, I really felt like, I mean, this is not a game to me. This is my life. Like, I'm really on this healing journey, and I want to heal so I can be that vessel. You know, I want to be that proper vessel. So I can't play games with it. Go ahead, Tasha May. I didn't talk over you. Go ahead with your question, baby.
Good, you're good. So, where are you originally from? Let the people know.
I'm originally from the mean streets of St. Louis, Missouri, girl.
Yes. St. Louis, baby.
Born and raised.
Yeah, we're all loving your name. So where did it originate from, and how did you come across, how did you come across the name, and how did it come about?
How did I come out?
How did the name come about?
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's a really good question. The name Shahil means teacher, leader, shore, like way shore, and shore, like a shore that you would see like on a lake or a pond or a beach. And typically the energy is connected to a shore is being able to be a vessel and a medium between the physical and the spiritual realm. Yeah. So being a divine channel for spirit. So I originally was given this name. Oh shit. Let's see, it's 2021, right?
Yeah.
I was originally given this name in 2015.
Wow.
This was when I was within my spiritual journey. I was doing a lot of my own inner work. And I was working with a spirit guide of mine at the time. And he started calling me Shahil, and he told me to look up the name, the meaning. And this is the thing, when you go by names, when you subscribe to different names, you're changing the energy of your path. You're changing your purpose. Anytime you go by a different name, or you begin to your journey begins to change. Yeah. And so a lot of times when we get names, we are being initiated into something. Now, these names represent certain vibrations and energy. So here it was at that particular time, before I had to really start doing like work publicly, I was being shown through my name that this was part of my purpose. So I got the name many years ago. I literally did not start going by that name until this year. Wow. And the reason why I didn't, even though I was already creating the foundation and doing the work, I had to integrate with a few more lessons before I could fully take on the responsibility of being called Shahil. So I started going by that name this year. And now I've come in with a new name. They've given me a new name that I'm not getting ready to start going by yet because I ain't ready. And I know that. So I'm not going to force it. But that is definitely how the name came about. And again, a lot of us, we have many names. But that particular name was connected to an initiation for me that was showing me that this is your path, this is your purpose, this is the type of work that you're to be doing, and your name reflects that.
And you know what? That's crazy because I can't be called my original name anymore, Ricky. I don't feel it. It's just like it literally makes my skin. It's just like that's not me anymore. Like it's like I don't know. Like, and I've noticed that like through talking to multiple healers that the names change, like they gradually just change. So that's powerful to know. Like now it makes sense to me. Where I'm like, no, my name ain't Ricky.
And even when it comes to that, you always want to make sure that it's important that you do not denounce that part of yourself.
Got you.
Because that part of your that name was an intricate part of your journey. Where it was the name that experienced all this trauma, all of the things that you've been conditioned by. So making sure that you still honor. Because I have my name, my original name, Cameron, in rose gold on the keychain, so I don't forget that aspect of it. Because somebody called me Cameron one day, and I completely fucking ignored them. And then it was like, I got so used to being called by that name, but I definitely honor Cameron.
Got you.
Because if it wasn't for that particular piece in regards to my energy and my experience, I wouldn't be Shahil today.
Yes, you better learn me something. I embrace you, Ricky. I love you.
My son's name is Cameron.
Yes, it is.
Whose son's name is Cameron?
Tasha.
Oh, okay. She's with us.
I'm excited. Now you have the same name as him. I love it.
And it's spelled the same exact way as
the same as way as mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's with a C, right?
It's a C-A-M. How do I spell my son's name? C-A-M-E-R-A-N.
Oh, A-E. Okay, mine is O-N.
Oh, okay. So it's a little different. Okay. Go ahead, beautiful Onyx.
All righty. So what was life like before you began your journey down this enlightened path?
Oh, child.
I get the look back. Hold on there. I gotta go back there.
So I experienced, because of the blueprint that I carry before I incarnated into a physical vessel, I chose a very dense and traumatic experience. Most of the most powerful healers are the wounded ones. Because a lot of the most powerful healers are the one who also have carried a lot of burdens. So early on, I experienced a lot of trauma in the womb while being carried by my mother. So there was that trauma that I experienced while she was carrying me, which translated over into my reality energetically as I grew up as a kid. And then after being born, I experienced a whole lot of trauma from sexual abuse, all of these things, violence, just a lot of being beat on by partners and things like that. So I've experienced a lot of trauma. My life has basically up until before the enlightenment has been about, which is most of us, because we get conditioned that way, has been about trying to find my way in society, where there's trying to get degrees or through titles or money or fame or success. And but most of my life was lived from a space of fight or flight. So, then constantly living on the edge, looking at the world, like living in victim consciousness. I was an extreme victim because I had went through so much. And it was, I had victimized myself to the point to where I didn't even realize how I was really creating and attracting those energies and those experiences. So, I lived a constant life of that. I used to be addicted to drugs. I used to be heavy into alcohol. I've had near-death experiences, 3 of them. I've OD'd a few times. I, at a very early age, and I cannot believe I'm sharing this, but this is my anniversary. At a very early age, I'm 38 now. So at 16 years old, I was diagnosed with HIV. I was in a situation with a partner who was older than me. He was like 12 years older than me. He was very physically abusive, very toxic in the way in which he had sex with me. And the interesting thing is that 10 years before that, when I was 6, I was being molested by my uncle. And my uncle, the experience through that, it literally was a mirror for that relationship that I was in at 16. So, which is part of the reason why, because I developed Stockholm syndrome with my uncle, which was part of the reason why when I did attract that type of relationship unknowingly to me, because it was part of the trauma that I was carrying. How shadow work works. It was part of the trauma that I was carrying. So I was literally emitting a frequency unconsciously that attracted that same type of violence and sexual abuse, because what I had experienced as a child wasn't nurtured or healed. So here it is. If I look at my relationship when I was 16 years old, this grown ass man, it was a mirror image of all of the trauma that I experienced when I was 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you know what's crazy that you say that, because I've noticed that some of the relationships that I had encountered, it mirrored a lot of child issues. And I was sitting, it's the same thing. Like I never felt like I was appreciated or valued. So the relationships that I would get into, I never felt appreciated or valued. And they would mirror some of the same things that my mom did. That's powerful. And now just you're talking about it now, it's making me reflect back at that time. Wow. Oh, Shahil.
So yeah, crazy, running away from police, robbing banks. Oh, child, I done some of everything. Honey.
Oh my God. That's why you're so powerful. This is what people don't understand.
Yeah. You needed that to get
you name it, I damn near have done it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. What sparked that? Like just sparked you to be like, okay, I need something different. Like I'm ready to shift. Like to start your journey.
So what really sparked it was, and I tell people all the time, like people can have 100,000 people supporting them and they're walking their journey, and until they hit their rock bottom, or until they choose to make a decision to change, which typically starts with taking accountability and acceptance for self and the role that you played in the demise of your life. For me, it was through a soul contract, and a soul contract is basically an agreement that you have, that you make with a soul before you incarnate. So at some particular point in time, like for example, Lyrick and Onyx, you guys had a soul contract where you all were supposed to meet up at some particular point within your lives, hurt each other, fuck each other up for the purpose of transformation.
Very true.
It was all designed. So for me, I went through my spiritual awakening was brought on by a catalyst through a dark night of a soul by way of a very toxic relationship.
Gotcha.
And this toxic relationship, baby, spirit put me with another Scorpio.
I love my Scorpios, by the way.
Seriously. And don't do that, Tasha Gemini, because I love you, but you know, we both hate it.
I have a brother.
I love my
Scorpio. I dated one Scorpio, baby. Continue, no comment.
So spirit aligned. So I aligned myself. It was really interesting because that's when I started my journey when I left St. Louis. I left St. Louis in 2012, which is when my spiritual journey really started. I was looking for more. I was looking for something different. I was seeking transformation. I wanted more out of life, but I was still trapped in 3D. So I was under the impression that, oh, I moved to Houston, I get this big job, you know, I end up being a CEO, you know, and I'm gonna be a socialite in the Houston streets and be So even at that time, even though I wanted more, I was still vibrating from a place of a 3-dimensional mindset. Because what I did was I didn't realize that, because I'm like, oh, a fresh new start. In my fresh new start, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that I was gonna carry all that shit to Houston. All that shit followed me right to Houston. And I was just like, because I had stopped doing drugs for about 6 months. I had stopped doing drugs. I was like, I'm no longer doing drugs. I had stopped doing drugs before I got to Houston. And here I am. I get to Houston. I get in a relationship with what? A drug addict.
Wow.
Like, it was like, girl, you stopped for 6 months, because you haven't got to the root cause of that addiction. So he was the mirror image of everything that I hated about myself that I was not ready to own up to. So it was a very toxic relationship. When I mean tearing up being folks' apartments, holes in wall, like it was just very crazy. We were both on drugs. And one day, what happened was, now keep in mind, I also used to have extreme abandonment issues. So I was known for staying in relationships that were not conducive or healthy for me. I would just stay in them because I was taught that this is how I am to be loved, is to be abused. And so I would stay in these relationships. And one day I had woke up from a drug-induced stupor. But before that, I kept, like, when I would be high, I would keep hearing these voices speak to me and give me these messages. And at first I thought I was going crazy, but now I know that was my spirit guides communicating with me, because I would get these profound downloads and these profound messages, and I would kind of like put them up on Facebook, and I would go back and look. I'd be like, when did I write that? Who wrote that? Wow. I was literally channeling spirit at that moment that was giving me the direction, that was kind of activating me in a sense. And one day I woke up, and I'm used to suffering in silence. So I'm one of those type of people who I'm very private. A lot of my friends didn't know that I was going through. My family, no one knew that I was a drug addict for over 10 years, and no one knew it. Wow. So I've always kind of like been very hush when it comes to things that I go through. And I remember this one particular day I woke up and I went to the bathroom. This was after a drug-induced stupor. I woke up. I was very skinny. There was no life in my eyes. I was just looking at myself, and I said, looked in the mirror, I said, I don't recognize you anymore, and I don't know who you are. And then I heard this voice say, you never knew who you were, but you're about to find out. Ooh. I'm in a bathroom looking around, like, who the fuck said that?
Oh my gosh.
That day forward, there was just a shift that happened. I started to notice that I was naturally shifting my perception. I started losing my car, losing my home. I was going through all of these things. You know, I was at one point, I was a worry wart. Like, I would worry about everything. So when shit started being stripped away from me, I was just sitting there like, okay, it is what it is. And that ain't, I've never operated like that. I always operated like stress, like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Oh my God, I need help. I ain't got nobody to help me. But then I ask for help. And baby, I was sitting there amongst all that chaos, just still. Yeah. And I even for me, it was baffling, because I'm like, I'm not used to acting this way. And so I started, and then there was the self-reflection. Baby, I started going within, and I would, especially when it comes to relationships, because your relationships are your mirror. They are literally a mirror for everything that you are needing to heal. And the reason why they are a mirror, because these partners are needing to heal from the same thing.
Yes.
They may, even if you have the same experiences, but each person may be polarized differently in how they have grown to deal with their trauma. So here it is. You know, I was looking at my current relationship, which was completely horrible. I was with a man for 3 years who did not have sex with me because of my status. And in that situation, I still stayed with him because I thought that, you know, this is love. I'm going to just accept this But there was so much of me that he did not accept, and we would constantly project onto one another.
Wow.
And then one day I started looking at him, and I'm like, I'm fucking mad at him about the same shit that I do.
Come on now.
I'm mad at him about the same way that I act. I'm like, and from there, I started looking at all of my other relationships prior to him, and I started to see all of these patterns. And the lowest common denominator was me, bitch.
Come on now.
It's like I'm the person in this situation every time.
I was like, I'm looking in the mirror and I said, I was under the impression that because I was a good provider, I took care of home, you know, I paid bills, I cooked, I was, you know, I was nurtured. I was under the impression, you know, I didn't cheat. I was under the impression that I was the perfect mate until I started seeing how emotionally immature I was, how violent I am with my words, how loose I am with my words, how destructive my tantrums
Wow.
you know, it was one of those things where I started looking at myself like, bitch, you over here acting like you Mary Poppins. And
come on now.
It was like, you know, so I started taking responsibility because one of the things that I used to hear in relationships, you crazy, you crazy, you crazy, you crazy. And, you know, so long after you hear that, when something is projected to you and into you, you start to internalize it. I started to internalize the term being crazy, and I thought it was cute.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
I use it as a badge of honor.
Wow.
So, you know, it was that eye-opening moment where I literally started just doing self-reflecting, and it just happened so naturally. And then after that, what got me out of my relationship is I had stopped doing drugs. Again, I had stopped, and because I was having some issues with my heart.
Yeah.
And I remember my ex came home from work one day, and he, you know, after work, and he said, look at this little setup sitting there, and I'm sitting here, and he pulls out cocaine.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, we agreed to stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what they say when you are in particular environments that you need to heal from. You have to break away from those people.
Come on. Oh.
So here it was. He, after we agreed to stop doing these drugs, here he is. He brings these drugs in the house, and I said, you could have at least done it outside the house, because you know I wasn't. I'm like, I'm getting ready to judge you, because if you want to get high, just don't do it in the house.
Right.
So he did it, and out of my frustration, I sat there and I started doing a bump with him.
Wow.
Baby, my team came in, heart started hurting, like I was having a heart attack. Wow. And I was sitting there just holding my heart. And I was like, oh my God, no. I was like, we need to call the ambulance.
Wow.
Baby. I said, we need to call the ambulance. I said, call the ambulance. My ex at that time, he kept getting high. He looked up at me, he said, well, what about all these drugs? What about the drugs? What about, I was like, wow, you really, at that point, he said, oh, you don't care about me.
Oh my gosh.
You were willing to sit here and let me go through God's know what, because you wanted to continue to get high. And so at this point, and me and him actually are good friends today. And, you know, and it was one of those things where in that moment, that was a big aha moment where I was like, this is the type of shit and treatment that you have settled for in all your relationships.
Wow.
So at that particular point, something told me, I heard a voice that said, go outside. Now, this is before I was nature boy and really into this like this. Something said, go outside. I went outside and I heard, take your shoes off, lay down in the grass. Baby.
Oh, my God. Oh my gosh.
That was the first time that I experienced the healing and the nurturing of Mother Gaia. She had called me outside. I remember, and I was sat there for like 15, 20 minutes. My heart pain stopped. It stopped. And everything, and I was just balanced, and I just had this moment of clarity. And instead of going back in the house and clowning, I went back in that house. I looked at him. I said, you can have all this shit. My name. I don't want it. I'm leaving. It's done. And at that point, I left Houston and I went to Florida. I left 2 weeks later. And that was the very first time that I ever walked away from a relationship.
Oh my gosh. And it's I love hearing you tell that story because you know what? Like even with me and Onyx, like there was a point I was like, I know I gotta shift. Something has to shift this thing. Like, and I don't know where I'm gonna find that strength. Like, where is that strength gonna come from for me to do this? Because having, like you said, the abandonment issues, it's hard for you to release people, like, and let people go. And that was the most difficult thing. And Spirit was just like, I got you, just flow. It was just let it flow, and things literally just started happening. Like our relationship just started to shift. So to hear you say that, you know, to go down that process, you know, is very, very, very powerful, because to know that healing, that experience that you had with Mother Gaia really just shifted you. Shifted you in the right direction. Just feeling all that love, that healing, and that restoration take place gave you that power to say,
Like,
I'm gonna let go of this shit.
It just snatched it all away. I was, again, like, that was all new for me. But I remember being in that moment, it took me back to a little boy when I used to run outside barefoot, talking to animals, all this, like, so it had took me back to a space. And I wasn't really too aware of inner child work at that particular time. But I remember connecting with that energy at that time, and I, you know, even at that time, I was being shown that this is aspects of me as a little, you know, that the kid in me is still hurting from.
Wow.
And it was literally, you know, I was just following the voice of spirit, because I'm just like, I was hearing do this, do that, and I was just doing it. And as I was doing it, I was trusting it more, because I started to notice the actual shift as I sat on that ground in that grass, and I was just like, wow.
Oh my God.
So, you know, and I went in the house, instead of, like I said, going there acting crazy, being mad, like, how could you do this to me? I was like, you don't love me. I went and I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
And again, I was the king of not less separated from a relationship until my mates got tired of dealing with me.
Oh my gosh.
So I stayed. I stayed. That was the first time I ever left a relationship on my own, and said, you know, when they're not, because they left me.
Yeah. Oh my God. You that mirror again. I'm looking in the mirror. Go ahead, Tasha, man. Or is it yeah. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, that's really powerful for you. I'm very proud for you. I'm very happy for the journey that you've went on and that you're still going through. But does your family, how do they react to your enlightenment and your to your spirituality?
Ooh, girl. Okay. Okay, so family dynamic is really interesting for me. And I am not one of those people who went through, as I was going through my journey of enlightenment, I wasn't one of those people who had like extreme difficulties separating from family, because I did that a long time ago. When I was younger, much younger. Because again, I've always been different. You know, I used to think back in the day that I was so different and there was something wrong with me because I was gay. It had nothing to do with my sexuality.
Come on now.
It had everything to do with the fact that I wasn't from here, honey.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So all this, for a long time, I felt so different and ostracized because I thought it was because I was gay, and it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with me being a soul, in a sense, that's kind of displaced, sent into a realm in reality, to where we have to have this experience, basically be, you know, go through this science fucking experiment
for real,
for the purpose of elevation and transformation via the soul. But for family, for me, it was my because my family suffered a lot of trauma, and molestation was something that literally separated my family, because it started generations ago. And it trickled down into the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation. And so for me, my mom grew up, and we always kind of had our own little niche, our own little family. Like, she would let us go around the family, but she didn't deal with anybody. She would let me go around grandma and stuff like that, but she didn't really deal with anybody. So I also come from a family, my mother's side was very indoctrinated in Christianity. So for me, I've always been a person who has been like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, anybody says, even though I did. But I always have held true to what I wanted to do. So I came out at a young age. I came out at a young age. So I was already known for just, this is who he is. He gonna do his thing. He be him. So when I started going through the path of enlightenment more so, the very first thing that I heard, I remember my mom called me and she was like, so, and she started asking me questions about spirituality. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's getting into it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I started sitting there and I started listening to her questions. And I was like, she's trying to get some tea. She's trying to plump me for some tea.
Right.
And then next thing I know, because my mom, she's an Aquarius, she just came out. She said, are you the leader of a witch cult?
Oh, God.
I said, well, first, thank you for saying a leader.
Right.
Thank you for recognizing my greatness. And I'm like, and this was me because me and my mom are very close. I said, girl, who told you that your mama? She said, yeah. I said, girl, that ain't even you. You don't even move like that. Like, you don't I know you got that from your mother. So my grandmother had put her in her ear, he doing it voodoo, he doing it witchcraft stuff. And that was the only thing I ever really experienced outside of what the rest of my family thinks. I don't subscribe. I don't connect with them enough to know that. Yeah. But I can definitely say that for my immediate family, as far as the people who I've had the most influence on is my nieces, my mother and my sister. They acknowledge my journey and my path. They respect it. Them girls love to use my products when they want to manifest things.
Yes.
Heal. Even my sister, she acknowledged how in changing and healing and shifting myself, she has started healing herself. Which is so. Even when I feel like nobody is watching, somebody is, and I'm still creating a ripple effect within my family. So she just told me that a few weeks ago. She was like, I've learned how to really heal myself through watching you heal yourself.
Yes. Woo.
Yes. Look at you.
But family, baby, I'm the king of cutting them off. I don't care.
Period. And you know what? Honestly, it wasn't that hard for me either. Man, family was the first level. You chopped.
Yeah.
You said what? Chopped.
I've been me and cousin Kiki been not liking each other, child. We all right, it's all right. We gonna continue on down that path.
And that's funny because my mom's an Aquarius too, and they so blunt. They ask whatever they want to know, baby. They gonna ask
in front of anybody.
In front of anybody.
No cool.
I'll be like, Mama, you can't ask me that.
Go to the side of nothing. It's so and so. This, you like, oh, in front of 20 people.
She don't play no games, baby. Go ahead, beautiful Onyx.
Okay, so speaking of sexuality and religion and spirituality, there are a lot of people who say the alternate lifestyle, they feel like they could never have a true divine connection. You did address this recently, so can you shine some light on your views when it comes to this matter for our viewers?
They can't. First of all, baby.
Come on. Come on. I'm ready for it.
Professional corporate CEO keys. This unit is giving me life. I'm just over here. I'm sitting over here like, let me sit up straight. Onyx talking to me. Hold on.
Somebody said that. Let's go fast.
No, you're asking me the challenges with finding a divine partner. Say it again. I'm sorry.
Okay, so a lot of people feel like you can't be part of the LGBT community and have a spiritual connection.
Okay.
Based on things like religion, stuff like that. And I know you did address this recently on one of your videos, but can you update us with our viewers?
Okay. Oh shit. I'm gonna start off by saying this. Working with the LGBT it may be whatever all them acronyms are.
Right.
Rainbow has been it has been such a challenge for me with working with them.
Yeah.
And I say that because our community is so rooted in victim consciousness, so rooted in separation and being ostracized. And a lot of us created ourselves and don't even know that we're doing it.
Very true.
Because we're not fully embodying who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But the gay community in and of itself has been, I've worked with a few, gay people or, with throughout my career, not as many as I would have liked to.
Right.
But I've noticed, because I look at everything from a spiritual perspective, I noticed the attack on that particular collective.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why is because, and this is unbeknownst to even people, a lot of times people do things that don't even know why they do the things that they do. They don't know that they're being unconsciously or subconsciously driven by something that has conditioned them or feared them.
Yeah.
Gay people, we the shit.
Come on now.
We the gatekeepers.
Period.
We the gatekeepers. We shit. Gay people used to be the first shamans, the first teachers, the first healers. In ancient times, we were recognized as two-spirited.
Come on now.
The reason why there's various reasons why people choose to incarnate as a gay person. It's all part of our experience as a soul. One of the things in regards to our experiences as a soul is that we are to go through all of the human experiences. So at some point, everybody done been gay before, everybody done been white, everybody done been Chinese at some point, within their journey, within their soul's journey. And it's because one of the reasons why people fear us is because they fear our divinity. They fear our divinity. And it's because of religious dogma that's what perpetuates that cycle of, oh, you gay, you can't be connected to spirituality.
Yes.
Did I lose y'all?
Nah, I pulled you up, baby.
Okay, you're gay, so you can't be connected. You don't have a source. You don't have a connection to source or God. When in actuality, spirits within the spiritual realm do not identify sexual. They don't identify sexual identity. They don't identify with gender. They identify with your frequency, your vibration, your heart space. So, and because the gay people were an embodiment of both masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah.
We were known as the gatekeepers. We were known as people who could easily access spiritual realms and bring information back into the physical realm, which is why a lot of shamans and ancient teachers and healers were two-spirited people.
Yeah, yeah.
And in a lot of ancient cultures, we were revered. And gay people have been incarnating into the human design since the beginning of the human design. Wow. And one of the reasons why is because our frequency alone helps bring forth balance to the divine masculine and divine feminine within the collective. Whether we know it or not. So, anybody can be a gatekeeper. I'm not just saying that gay people are only people that are gatekeepers. I'm not saying it. But because of the embodiment and the way in which both masculine and feminine energies work through us, it allows us to be a channel for the divine. Whether you're a straight man or a straight woman, you have to balance your masculine and feminine energy in order really to be a pure divine channel.
Come on.
Which is something that we all heal, through with this experience. But so when it comes to that, I don't really, that was the video that I did on it. That was my last time speaking on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even, it's not even something that really even triggers me.
Yeah.
It's just that I've learned to accept people for their level of awareness and understand that is their truth based off their perception. So who am I to judge? I'm not going to sit up there and match vibrational frequencies by judging you. So it's one of those things where and when it comes to anything in this reality, anything that's not understood, anything that we don't understand is typically because we fear it. We're not educated on it.
Yes.
So that when people say that, in actuality, we potentially could have a leg up, depending on that person.
Yes.
It depends on that person, because there's a lot of toxic gays out here. And they just are not the embodiment of that energy. But if they choose to, they would be a very powerful vessel. So when it comes to that, I don't really subscribe to it because I know the history and I also understand it from a spiritual perspective. I haven't really dealt with that a lot.
Yeah.
Because most of my clients are women. But when it comes to that, that's when people typically say that, like, you know, I'm at the point where I'm not even gonna address that anymore because you just simply are afraid of my divinity.
Come on now. They fear what they do not understand. For real. So
try to put their own.
For real. So you do something oh so well. And we're gonna talk. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta laugh.
What might that be?
You're amazing at shadow work. You are brilliant at shadow work. Can you please with in light of some of the things that have gone on, like I spoke of Tyler, the little boy Tyler, and the family and stuff like that, and it kind of sparked like shadow work and childhood work and stuff like that I was thinking about looking at the full situation, just seeing a bunch of generational stuff take place on that camera. I was like, oh, so shadow work, can you break down why it's the importance of shadow work and why it is needed?
Okay. First of all, one of the reasons why shadow work is important and it's necessary because we live in a society full of broken people attempting to love one another through their brokenness. So we live off a society built off trauma bonding. We live in a society where there are, hundreds of thousands and millions of children walking around in adult bodies, wounded children walking around in adult bodies.
Oh my God.
One of the most important reasons why we should be doing shadow work is because you do not reach true adulthood until you can be 50, 60, 70, 80, pay bills, go to work, do all this.
Come on now.
You're still not a true adult if you have not found balance within your emotions, if you have not went in and healed yourself from your experiences. Like I tell you all the time, when we are children, we are not responsible for what happens to us, but when we are adults, we are responsible for healing it.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons why, because you don't really reach emotional maturity or true adulthood without getting in connection with these aspects of yourself.
Yes.
Then there is the importance of doing this work because of our life force energy. So many people are walking around with stress-related diseases because of things that they have not healed emotionally and spiritually.
Yes.
And then there is the aspect of being able to, being more in an enlightened state, creating a better reality for yourself by way of your thoughts and your emotions is why this is really important, why this work is really important. It's really important to do this work at this time energetically because there's a lot going on within the spiritual realms that most people are not privy of. So right now, I wouldn't have said this years ago, but because of how the energy is changing right now, it's very important because we are being attacked by darker forces and entities that are using these energies that we have not healed from against us. Okay. And they're using them for food sources. So that's another reason why it's very important to really do this work. And you can't reach a state of wholeness if you are not allowing yourself to integrate and get to know those darker aspects of yourself.
Yes.
Because the thing about shadow work is like an invisible bag of baggage that we have carried that has been accumulated through traumas, whether these are past life traumas or accumulated through family dynamics, accumulated through our interpersonal relationships, religious relationships in school. Because a lot of times people think that shadow work is just healing from your family issues or your romantic partnerships. I've been doing inner child work connected to my time in high school this past week.
Wow.
So, just even through friendships, relationships with friends that I have had to heal. So it's a culmination of experiences that have shifted your consciousness in a way to where you become disconnected with these aspects of yourself. And these shadow aspects are typically these darker aspects that we repress, that we don't want to face, that we don't want to own up to. And the reason why that is because as a society, as you know, as a human race, we are naturally conditioned to focus on the good. We get taught that at a very early age.
Oh my God.
Because what that does, that allows you to not to really integrate and connect with an aspect of you that is literally governing your behavior, literally governing your personality traits, because the unconscious and the subconscious mind is 90% more powerful than even our own conscious mind. So here it is. We tend to carry a lot of baggage that we don't even know that we have, and in us unknowing about this baggage that we carry, just because we don't know about it does not mean it's not still there.
Come on now.
Creating our realities through like vibrations. This is how we attract these traumas. And because if anything that has not been nurtured or healed or released is potentially, and if you perpetually go through the same things, it creates energetic blockages for you, whether conscious or unconscious. So here it is, this ball of you constantly attracting situations where you have experienced abandonment. This ball and got this big, and this ball is residing within you. It's big, it's black. And if it's not nurtured, if it's not healed, guess what's happened? It's sending out a frequency that's going to allow you to continue to attract more abandonment until you go in and start to heal yourself. So again, because we get so focused on the good, we don't identify with, and I don't believe in good and bad. They're two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
So we get too focused on the good, even with spirituality. The people who you see positive vibes only want positive vibes, they are bypassing. A lot of them are bypassing because they're still not integrating with their shadow. And you can't reach that state of wholeness if you do not bring that balance into both the dark and the light. And so again, we get so focused on the good. You don't hear people going around saying, "I'm a thief."
So true. Come on now.
I'm a drug addict.
I'm
a whore. I'm jealous. I'm greedy. You know, baby, you don't see people do that because we've been taught to focus on what the good.
Boy,
you'll hear somebody say is, "But I'm a good person."
Baby, it's so much more than that.
I give to people. I give back. I give back to people. I'm nurtured. You know, I give people things. I give from my heart. But you a bitch. You mean to your children. You rude. You this. You that. But you're a good person.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So that is one of the reasons why. One of the most important reasons why it's important to do this work, because we get disconnected from that aspect of those aspects of us that are really literally been governing and ruling our lives without us even knowing it.
Yes.
And even when it comes to shadow work, you know, shadow work is surface is to me, based off my years of doing it, is surface level. Now I want to add that healing is a journey, it's not a destination. Some souls, it takes some souls an entire incarnation to integrate with their shadow.
Yeah.
Depending on how much work they put into it. But this is the thing. Even with shadow work, when you're doing shadow work, one of the first things you'll start to notice when you begin to do this work is naturally you'll start to see that you're triggered by something, or typically something that would trigger you in a particular way, you may not respond to it how you would. That does not mean that you're still not triggered. You just may not be presenting the same behavioral patterns outwardly which you would express, but that does not take away from the emotion of it. Okay.
Yes.
So when a trigger gets to a space to where you are noticing you're in a cycle where you're constantly dealing with the same emotions, constantly dealing with the same triggers, the same thought forms, the same patterns, the same cycles, the same types of people. When you start to see these energies recur within your life, at that point is when you're supposed to say, okay, I am carrying something that is much deeply connected to these energies. And that is when you have to go and get to the root cause of that and excavate that and clear that out. Because at that particular point, that is when shadow work turns into inner child work. Because shadow work in tandem with one another. So even though they may seem like they're separate, they're not. And even in doing the inner child work and the shadow work, then you'll start to become more aware of your shadows by way of your family dynamics. And that's when it becomes ancestral. Because then you'll start to notice how certain patterns and experiences are perpetual throughout your family's dynamic. Okay, the family represents the blueprint for a lot of the lessons, the traumas, and things that we are needing to heal from and transform within ourselves. So even in doing your shadow work, you're going to be exposed to patterns and cycles that need to be broken within your ancestral line. Okay, so we have shadow work, inner child work, and then we have ancestral work. They all seem separate. They're separate, but they're not. They're connected. Then you have to take into account that there is a lot of deep level healing that takes place on a soul level, because these experiences that we're going through, we've attracted or recreated some karmic bond for them, because these are things that we have not healed from in the past. So we experience these energies in a way that a lot of us have carried them in. Like, for example, if you as a soul say, oh my God, in this lifetime, I want to finally just heal from feeling abandoned. Guess what? You're going to incarnate into a family where you're going to get fucking abandoned. You're going to get incarnated into situations where you constantly feel abandonment until you start to transcend that. So here it is. There's a past life connection to a lot of the things that we need to heal from as well. Not all, but a lot of them. And then not only that, so this is something that seems separate, but it's all tied in together. There's another aspect of it. Then you have to go in and say, okay, how am I to reprogram and unlearn and relearn everything that I have been conditioned by way of society in regards to masculine and feminine energy? So then you have to go in and look at how all of these experiences are connected, how they are connected to how your masculine and divine feminine energy has been shaped. And so now you have to heal and merge and marry those two parts of yourself in doing all of this other healing work.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? I'm literally going through my journey as you're breaking this stuff down. And I've always looked at, I was like, I don't see them as separate entities. Like you know, the child work. And I'm like, I literally I can almost say gradually, like just winning them. Like it wasn't nothing that I just chose shadow work for. It just happened because I started sitting in like family gatherings and looking around the room, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like I'm seeing
we will sit up in a family and argue with each other about shit that each other do, and we all act the goddamn same.
The same. The same. I'm like, I hated this about my mom. I'm like, bruh, you do the same thing.
What we resist, we become, honey.
Oh my God. Like this is crazy. Like for real. Like, I looked at her one day. I was like, you know what? I can't even, I forgive you because I literally like this is the same stuff that I've done. I've done the same stuff. And even in situations like doing the work, like you said something powerful, like we're not used to paying attention to those dark sides of us, rather, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that's what was very uncomfortable for me. So because I lived in the reality of focus on the good. To hear spirit be like, you jealous. I'm jealous. What? Like to hear those things, it shook me to finally have to sit in those things. And I would even come to Onyx sometimes and I would apologize for situations that, you know what I'm saying, that we had back in the day. And I'm like, damn, I really looked at this shit and I was wrong as fuck. Mm-hmm. And I was operating in so much of my emotion. I really thought I was right. And I was so wrong. So I want to get off into, because you've broken down the shadow work, but there's something that you talk a lot about, and that's the levels of consciousness.
Oh God.
So I want people to, because a lot of people, I'll say stuff like 5D and 4D, and people look at me like I'm crazy. Like they look at me like, what is that? Mm-hmm. So can you break them down? So I'm gonna start with 3D consciousness.
Well, okay. You asking me questions about topics that I can write books on. Like I literally can go in and do a whole dissertation.
Do y'all smell a part 2? Look.
You know what? I want to thank you for actually even bringing that up, because I was talking to one of my apprentices yesterday. Was this yesterday? No, the day before yesterday. And she was explaining to me the importance of my work. She was kind of reminding me. Yeah. And she was like, I've never, you know, she's like, I follow a lot of people. She said, no one has ever, she said, you're the only person I've ever met that has been able to break down these dimensions to me. Shalom, girl. Bye, girl.
I had to bring it up. I had to put it up. Yeah, I'm gonna assist you in
that's why I said, get Shalom. Get her tell Lyrick.
Yes, baby.
You know, she was explaining to me that I'm able to really break down these dimensions, which is why I created some of the classes that I have now, because I knew people were struggling with understanding certain concepts.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm really, really good at is I'm able to take this information, which looks convoluted, looks like quantum physics, looks like calculus, and break it all the way down so people can understand it.
Yeah.
That is one of my most powerful traits as a teacher. And trust and believe me, I was the same one. I was just like everybody else looking at all this shit like,
like, what is this?
What is this? Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm going down all these rabbit holes. And it wasn't until I started really fully integrating and fully seeing how all this was connected that I got this level of understanding. But the thing is, when you break down consciousness, the reason why you hear a lot of people say, stay woke, wake up, third eye, because our consciousness is anchored within our third eye, okay? But that does not mean that our consciousness is not limited to just our third eye. Our consciousness is the energy. It travels, okay? It can expand, it can condense. And what happens is that each level of consciousness that you reach is typically connected to a particular dimension. Now, with each dimension, a dimension is, and these dimensions overlay on top of one another, okay? And let's just say, now these dimensions represent spaces, different realms of reality, and with these dimensions comes different levels of awareness, different perceptions, different levels of knowledge. As you ascend to each dimension, you begin to embody and integrate with the information and the energies connected to said dimension, even outside of the fifth. Right now, we talk about the fifth because that's the dimension, that is the frequency that we need to anchor in order to move this planet.
Yes.
But our consciousness we can tap into 6D, 7D, 8D level of consciousness. Even if we may not be necessarily anchored at those particular levels. Like I tell people all the time, you can tap into 5D energy and resonate and you know, connect with the energies of those consciousness, but until those levels of consciousness, but until you fully integrate and embody that, you know, you may not be necessarily anchored there. So when you look at the dimensions typically are connected to particular levels of consciousness or levels of awareness that we experience through going through this journey. So right now we live in a planet that is basically three-dimensional in nature.
Yeah.
So it's very dense. It's very dense. This planet has been built off survival. Yeah. So we have a lot of us have these reptilian brain aspects when it comes to survival. And the reason I say reptilians is because the reptilians were some of our first teachers. They're the beings who taught us how to survive the conditions within this planet. So we have this survival based structure within our brain that has been embedded within our human consciousness for eons. So 3D is basically the world that we live in. We are not connected with who we really are spiritually. We don't know the truth about ourselves. We don't realize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We feel like the only reality that we are limited to is this physical existence, this physical thing. 3D is more so connected to fear-based reality. It's based off survival. It's based off money, success, fame, titles. It's based off, you know, happiness being the pursuit of happiness being something that is only experienced through tangible things. Okay, it is based off separation and duality. So that is basically 3D. Which what happens when you begin to awaken, you begin to start to look. If one of the first things that you notice with your ascension journey is you start to see things differently. You start to see through the veil of illusion. You start to look at reality different. You start to look at society different, and then comes you start to deal with the emotional aspects. You start getting more sensitive. Your empathic blueprint really kicks in. You start opening yourself up subtle energies that you may not have really paid attention to in the 3D reality. So here it is, as you're doing this, and again, this is why I've always told people, you know, yeah, spiritual gifts are cute. Yeah, psychic abilities are cute. Planet magic is cute. Manifesting, law of manifestation is cute. Right. Which is why when I came out, when I first started my business, I was terrified because I was the only person who wasn't out here making money oils, who wasn't out here making love products. I was making chakra oils. I was like, you need to go in and do this shit.
Come on now.
No one else was doing it. Now you see a lot of people doing it.
Yeah.
It's still unfortunately a fad because a lot of these people are not even really doing their work. Oh, baby, let's not start.
Oh, Lord.
I triggered.
Lord.
it's folks that be out here posting GIFs and memes and all of this, and they don't even be doing the goddamn work. And then they have a peanut gallery coming in, amen, and then they ain't doing the goddamn work. But the most important component of this journey is the healing. It's everything that I just went over as far as shadow work, inner child work, ancestral work, healing the divine masculine, divine feminine, past life integration. The healing is the most important piece because that healing is going to allow you to connect with self and on a much deeper level. So as you begin to elevate, you tap in. So there's the 3 dimension. Now keep in mind, after the 3 dimension, it's the 4th dimension. Now, with these 2 particular dimensions, they literally are like one on top of each other. So if you look at the Earth, this is the Earth, and then the 4th dimension would be right around it, the aura, which is why when we experience things within the astro, we experience it in the physical realm.
Yes.
Some way, they're a reflection of that. Yeah. You can go into the astral realm and have sex and be nasty and wake up that energy and carrying it.
Wow.
You go into the astral realm and be battling and wake up with scars and wounds because of a battle.
Wow.
Because we've been taught separation, but there is no separation. So when you start to tap into the 4D, you start to get more in tune with your spiritual gifts. You start noticing the heightened sensitivity in regards to your psychic abilities. You start to pay more attention to subtle energy, to energies around you. You start to see the unseen. You start to tap into time differently. Time begins to move more differently. Within the 4D. Now, the 4D is still a hodgepodge of, there's a lot of healing that needs to take place with the 4D because the 4D is like a hodgepodge of all of the good and the bad. So you start to learn how to navigate that particular dimension. And again, when you tap into 4D, you're tapping into the realm of spirit. A lot of teachers get stuck in 4D.
Got you.
And the reason why, and then these teachers, the reason why some of these teachers, you can tell if a teacher is stuck in 4D because their messages will perpetuate separation. Their messages will come off in a way to where, what's the word I can use? Like it's sarcastic undertones to it.
Got you.
Again, like they will come out and say, let's just say, for an example, hoteps. A lot of hoteps reach 4D level of consciousness, but they still perpetuate separation in their messages because there's still something that they have not healed connected to the distortion of that thought in regards to maybe gay people can't be spiritual or whatever. So a lot of these teachers and healers get stuck in 4D level of consciousness because they are still perpetuating separation. So, as you tap into the energies of each level of consciousness, you're tapping into different dimensions and different frequencies, which are basically the embodiment of certain energies. So now we tap into 5D. So when you move into 5D is, there is no ego in 5D. There is no duality. There is no separation. 5D is all about unconditional love, peace, harmony, no non-judgment, unity, consciousness. That is the vibration of that particular level of consciousness and the vibration of the energy of that dimension. Yes. So in going from 3D to 4D to 5D, it's a constant cycle of unlearning and relearning. It's a constant cycle of death and rebirth. It's a constant cycle of building a healthy relationship with your ego so that you can do away with everything that has conditioned you in a way to where you are no longer, where you are being shown that this is an embodiment of an experience or a part of an old hologram that will not fit in this new dimension. So go and say I'm 5D and still be judgmental Even if you were
Come on
judging.
now. Yeah. Ooh.
Because people say, "Oh, I'm not judging," but in what ways are you judging yourself?
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
So, just in a nutshell, a little snapshot. I hope that makes sense. That's how the dimensions are divided.
I've been over here like, oh my God. I don't think you understand. Like my spirit is like.
I could have went in much more, but as you elevate, you know what I mean. As we elevate to the new level, let's say if you're right here at 3D and you're moving into 4D, your initiations, your tests, the things that you need to learn and integrate with are going to be a reflection of things that you need to let go of that are 3-dimensional so that you can move into the embodiment of this 4D space. So, you know, it happens in layers and it happens in cycles. Now, what I tell people, just like for me, just because I've tapped into 5D, I'm pretty much, I'm gonna be honest with you, I pretty much anchor in upper 4D.
Gotcha.
In regards to my frequency and I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5, primarily 5. However, it's still in the 3-dimensional realm.
Yeah.
Just because I'm up here vibrating and glowing, it don't mean that I might not drop back down there.
You know, because sometimes I have my.
I don't like. You know what I mean? It's a choice.
I be saying, I be like, bro, this is not 5D, but I'm about to cut this motherfucker.
Okay. This is not a 5D, but let me go ahead and drop down a little bit. But I'm gonna get myself back up there until I fully embody that, and it becomes naturally how I govern myself. It becomes second nature.
Yes, and that's crazy. You basically answered what I was gonna ask. Like, you know, people learning how to navigate through that. Like, because sometimes I be having, you know, 4D moments, like lower 4D moments, you know, kind of crossing over into 3. But you know, I'm about to be real.
You know what? And it's one of those things. Like, I haven't had a conversation with a friend, and she was like, as healers, sometimes we get tired of taking the high road. I know I do. Because especially the reason why, because what happened?
Yeah, I was listening to you, or you were saying you know.
Okay. We don't want to take the high road, and you know what? I can definitely say as a testament that high road has saved me, and it has a whole lot of other folks as well. So I'm gonna continue to vibrate higher, but that does not mean that you cannot express your disdain or your discord.
Seriously.
Fuck shit. I mean that.
Because I be almond and shit. Hold on.
Don't mean that. You just about you finding a way to express yourself and your truth to where you are not allowing your vibrations to drop.
Yes.
Someone else.
Yes. I've been learning to shift that, because sometimes, boy, they pull it out of you, boy. They pull it out of you. They make you want to go down.
Yeah.
Shahil, when I tell you, I love you beyond words, and I'm so thankful for your existence. I'm like, you have been such a blessing, and you know, I talk about this all the time. I used to have such a huge issue with male energy. I used to be so afraid to connect with male energy until I got into the roots of it all. But I'm saying, you know, spirit is like bringing male energy in my life, and I'm just starting to look at things differently and finding a newfound love for my masculinity and what that looks like for my life. And I appreciate you, because you have been one of those people. Like, you've been a blessing.
Thank you.
You've been a huge blessing.
I went through that same thing with the whole, not even really knew who I was as a masculine energy until 2 years ago.
Wow.
Because I was so used to operating out of my feminine.
Yeah.
So, and I operated out of my wounded feminine. So the victim, the codependency, the baby, the not trusting your intuition.
Oh God.
The making
like
lamb.
Oh my God, that was me.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and you know what, y'all? Hit me up if y'all want a part two, because I gotta get
What?
Shahil back. Like I have to, and because this has been powerful. You went through the whole journey. You broke everything down, and that's ultimately what I really wanted for this platform. Like people need guidance on how to start their healing journey, and you have so many people, like you said, operating in separation. It's like, but you got other people that want to elevate. They might not be where you are, but they want this, and they're looking to grow. And so many people make themselves not accessible. It's like they cut off. It's so much separation. People, like, they really do have to figure it out on their own. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you beyond words. Please, please, before we're at the end, closer to the end, I want people to know some of the services that you offer and where they can find you and where they can connect with you. Can you break that down for them?
Oh my God, my services are changing. I can't even get on and say, well, if you want a psychic reading, I'm not even know anymore. So my website, of course, you can connect with me through Facebook. That's Shahil Ahaya. You can also connect me through Instagram. That's Shahil_11_11. I do have a website, which is it's called mystichealingworks.com. I still am making like healing products. I still have classes that I offer. I'm still doing readings to the end of this month, but I also I'm going to be extending out coaching sessions to people. So I'm not going to stop doing that.
Yes.
But that's some of the ways in which you all can kind of like reach out to me and connect with me, and then just kind of it's so much stuff on my website, chat. I got to go in and revamp it. So ain't no telling what is even on there. But I'm really more so just shifting into more of a teacher role, which is why I'm creating more classes and more courses, so I can teach people these techniques and this practical information so they can start applying it, so we can start empowering more healers and teachers out here, people that are really ready to do the work. So I would have a slew of different types of classes and things that I'm offering. Again, I do offer individual coaching sessions. I also do have apprenticeship programs where you literally study under me for like 6 months. Or we study together, rather, not under me. So that's pretty much it until it continues to change. I'm actually doing all different types of services, multi-dimensional, light code paintings. Oh my God, it's just
light code paintings. I love them.
It's a lot going on, and it's changing. But in order to connect with me, those are the platforms that you can reach out to. So y'all gonna let me give y'all these messages or not?
Go ahead. Listen, look, before we even got Shahil tapped in, it was just like an automatic thing. Go ahead and deliver. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna start with Tasha. Okay. Okay. Energetically, I'm seeing, and it's really interesting that you brought up your son, because I'm seeing your energy. When I'm tapping into your energy, I'm seeing where you may have been, or at one point within this year, may have had difficulties or kind of been maybe critical or beating yourself up in regards to the way in which you parent, your mothering abilities. Now, were you ever in a situation, and I'm asking you this question because I need to figure out why these energies are presenting themselves to me in this way. At some particular point in your life, did you have a situation where you didn't bring a baby to term? I'm sorry.
Oh God. No. It's needed. Yeah.
You don't have to go into the details if you don't want to, but if you want to, this is a sacred space. Take your time.
Okay, so my heart's beating so fast. Okay. part of me I did not, I have not dealt with.
Okay.
That is true. Mm. In a way, I wasn't good enough to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I felt I felt like maybe I was doing something wrong with my children that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel that I would bring another life in, and I'm not able to give to them the I can give to that child because I was still immaturely a mother. So I just made the decision.
Okay. Okay. And how long ago did this happen?
Well, it's kind of weird because this was maybe 2016, 2017, and then that next year my mom was in 2018 and I lost that one. So it was a real kick in the face when I let go of a pregnancy and then had one taken from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
So
okay. Yeah, so that kind of made me, it kind of put me in a position to not want, I just felt like that was my punishment, I guess, in a way.
okay.
I don't
So
know.
I got
I,
some
I don't
news
know
for
how to
you.
really say it because this is
I got some news
I've
for you.
ever dealt with.
Yes.
Um, the reason why this message is coming up is because you have to deal with it. And so one of the things that I'm being shown, you definitely want to start doing healing with your womb, sacred womb healing, yoni steams, things like that, working with your sacral chakra, and your root, because this little girl is still coming through you. Meaning, as I'm sitting here, and when I was closing my eyes, I keep seeing her pulling at you. She still wants you to be her mommy.
Yeah. Yeah.
She still
Wait.
wants you to be her mommy.
Oh my God.
So in essence, she's telling me that you need to prepare your womb because she coming.
Oh.
If you knew, I have been the one to like yell and scream, no more kids. I'm almost 40. I mean,
And I felt that. That's why initially when I was like, it's something about her and her being a mother, but I'm saying that she needs to heal. She needs to heal. So now in talking about it, and again, because I wanted to verify, because I saw the loss of the, I see the child, and both times it was the same soul. It's the same baby.
Oh my God.
It's the same baby attempting to come through you. And it was a lesson that you needed to teach yourself about self-love. It was a lesson that not only, unfortunately, I know it was hard for you and traumatic for you, but it was an experience that the soul of your child also accepted and wanted to go through because, baby, when she get here, she is wanting you to heal from that. If you do not heal from that, you will have an issue with bringing her in. She's literally right there, like pulling at you, like, I have not forgotten about you. I still love you. We good. And she still wants you to be the vessel that ushers her into this reality so that she can complete her mission.
Ooh. Ooh.
I'm gonna share something with you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
My mama died in 2018, and I
Mm-hmm.
was pregnant. I know what I was having. My mom moved back from Phoenix, and when I told her that I was pregnant, she got excited because when she left, she's a great relationship with my oldest son, but my youngest son, it was kind of the phone, the videos, and she really didn't know him because he was gone. Now she was saying we'll be back for this one, she passed suddenly. And the grieving process that I took my body, I wasn't eating, I was barely sleeping, but when I did sleep, I would sleep for days at a time, to the point where I went to therapy and everything, to the point where I was just like, there's really no reason to just live now. My mom was my everything. And when I went to the hospital for my appointment, they did an ultrasound, they did a vaginal ultrasound, they did another regular ultrasound, and then they just told me to go and wait in the doctor's office. And I'm sitting there like, what's happening? So they told me, yeah, we have not detected a heartbeat, and we're not detecting any movement. We're going to have to take her. And for you to tell me what gender that it was really profound, because I couldn't do nothing but sit. And the only thing that passed through my mind was that was my girl, my first girl. So the whole time they're prepping me to go into OR, and I'm just there like, I got a girl. Like, I didn't think about the idea that she was gone. It was just the fact I have my girl. And after everything was said and done, like, she was so little, and they was like, do you want to see her? I said, no. The doctor brought her over to me anyway. And I'm looking and I'm like, wow, my first girl. She's there with my mom now, but just with everything that you're saying.
Oh no, she there with you too. She there with you too. I can see her. Like when I close my eyes, I can see her energetically around you. She's there with you too.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I knew it was a little girl. I could see her.
Yeah, it was definitely a girl. And I know I've been yelling for years. I'm almost 40. I would never start over, but if that's what's gonna happen, I totally accept that. I totally accept it. Even though I feel like and I step myself to not treat her right, because I'm very I criticize myself a lot because I try to be perfect in ways for my children, but I fall short all the time.
Well, you need to understand that. I want you to understand that the children that you have, they chose you to be their mother. You were chosen to be their mother. And you were chosen to be their mother because your experiences and as a soul would be in alignment with helping them properly support what it is that they are here to do. A lot of women are going to be experiencing collectively having babies in their 40s. Maybe our ancestors used to have babies up until they're 60. A lot of women are going to be experiencing having children in their 40s. These souls, because I can communicate with souls that are not, just like I can communicate with a soul that's crossed over and passed on, I communicate with a soul that's getting ready to come in.
Wow.
These children are choosing, a lot of these children are choosing spiritually and awakened moms, or moms who are awakening, or parents that are awakening, or at least one parent. So they don't have to experience the traumas that we went through.
Yes.
As parents, okay?
Yes.
They choosing parents that are more spiritually awakened because you're going to be better suited to guide them through their journey. So here it is, the energy of your daughter, which is very strong. She's very powerful. And you don't even notice she gives you messages. And this is why she's using me as a vessel to tell you, mommy, womb, get your womb together, because I'm still coming through. I still want to come through you. Ain't that experience ain't stopping no love from this child.
Oh my God.
And she is so excited. Like when I closed my eyes, I seen her pulling at your leg. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So, whatever, that's why I started bringing up motherhood first. Whatever issues or thoughts or emotions that you have suppressed or repressed in regards to your role as a woman, as a mother, heal that, because you have a child on the other side of the veil that's trying to get through, baby. And she can't come in if you're still carrying certain traumas. You can't carry her. You can't still have certain traumas attached to your womb and her come in because she's too high vibrational. So you have to heal those aspects connected to your womb and your divine feminine so that you can bring her in. And it's your choice whether or not you want to do that. But she definitely is still right there waiting on you.
Oh my God. Man, who cutting onions? I know.
This, like, my previous relationship, right, got to a point where we literally stopped having sex. And I was assuming it was, he was doing other things, but wasn't. He was just not. I think it was like, now that you're saying it, I think it's kind of clicking and coming to, it's coming. I was already preparing myself because I'm not even, honestly, I'm not even heavily sexually active right now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. Shifting and didn't even know. Look.
Didn't even know. Well, this is bye to that Fireball endorsement.
Fireball, you gonna have to wait.
You have to wait. But I mean, I don't want to put anything on message. I'm totally inclined to hear it. Yeah. But if that is to be my path, that is to be my journey, I fully accept that.
Oh my gosh.
If for nothing more than to heal.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Even if it's for nothing more, because right now this is when we tap into people's energy and do readings, it's based off the energy of right now currently. Yes. Now you have multiple timelines that attach to this where if you are open to this healing in such a way to where you want to bring in your child, you can. Even if you don't necessarily bring in your child, if you get to a space, she's still here to help you heal at the end of the day.
Yes.
Even if it's just simply for you to heal.
Ooh.
But you do have that option.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I thought my dog was Chanel, Lord.
The dog. I'm not dealing with you.
All right, who's next?
Just you. Lord, let spirit guide you. Let spirit guide you. Let spirit guide you.
Don't make me mess my
Onyx. Ooh. Jesus. Did an older person that you was close with or connected to die when you were younger?
Was it your granddad?
That was younger, but not like super young.
Like how old?
My grandpa passed. I was in 7th, 8th grade.
Okay.
But then my step grandfather passed when I was 4 or 5.
Okay, that's the age. Boom, that one. Okay. Your inner child is speaking to me. Ages 5, 6, 7, and 8 need to be evaluated for you. You are carrying so much energetically, and you do a good job at making it seem like everything's okay, like everything is together, because you're so used to having to be the one who has it all together, to be that strong person for everybody. There are some traumas that happen between 5 to 8 that are really important for you to heal. There is a lot of grief connected to those ages as well. I also see this is the message that your inner child is saying to me, and he's coming to me in your boy form, and he's saying, don't forget about him. He respects your path and your journey in regards to what you're currently doing, but he said you cannot keep forgetting about him. You can't just push him away, because he is still a part of you, and he needs you right now. He needs that mothering energy that you have, that you give to so many people. He wants you to stop running away from him and denouncing him. And he's sassy, honey. And he knows. And like when I first saw him, it's like he's in this corner, and he's saying to me, he always knew he was different. He always knew, but he does not want. He wants you to know that it's important in order for you to fully embody Onyx. Cannot forget about him. It's like he keeps showing me like you kind of put him in a closet. Wow. And he's saying, no, I'm still here. I'm still very much a part of you. Like, don't denounce this part of you. Like this, I'm here. I'm still with you. We went through this together. He's very strong, very strong. And he's wanting you to acknowledge him. He's wanting you to acknowledge the pain that he's experienced and the suffering that he's experienced. And he loves you just as you are right now. You are him and he is you. Wow. But he's saying you can't, you're not, he's basically saying you're not going to really experience full on happiness if you do not heal that part of yourself. And he's also saying, and this is what he's saying, he was like, and get it out your head that you're not lovable, because we have already got somebody set up for you that's gonna love all of you. He said, get that out your head.
Wow.
I said myself I wasn't gonna cry. I said myself. Oh my gosh.
You the one over here with some lashes on now, trying to keep.
I took my lashes off.
Oh my God.
It's like we cry every week.
I've cried so much in the last 2 weeks.
I mean, with the whole break.
And I felt it was gonna happen again. I felt it.
I ain't wearing no.
What I tell you on that post? What I tell you on that post that you put up there?
And when you said that,
my feet running, my legs falling off, and you start off the whole damn segment. I'm like,
I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it. Oh my God.
I also feel. Are you? Where do you currently live?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville. You moving out of state?
Mm.
You moving? Are you doing something with some type of cosmetic line?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Creating like your own line.
I want to create opportunities for other trans.
Yeah. You're gonna be doing that. Your mission is coming to an end in Nashville, my love.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what that message meant.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. I get it now.
And I know where you're being sent, but they told me not to say shit, so I'm gonna leave it. Keep me posted. But I'm seeing a transition. There's a move out of state that's going to happen for you. I don't know when. It could be within the next year. It feels sooner than you think. So, but yeah.
Oh wow.
Lyrick.
Oh.
Does Etta James mean anything to you? Some lady is singing Etta James in my ear right now.
Etta James.
The singer. I think she was she a blues singer?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I love her music. Her and Donny Hathaway are one of my
Okay, so
favorites.
it's the lady here for you. Hold on. Are you operating out of your home right now?
Yes.
Okay. You moving into a space. Hold on. Did you get invited to sing at some type of event or some type of concert or some type of?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do it, or did you do you feel kind of funny about it?
I feel funny about it.
Yeah, okay. Spirit is wanting you to do it.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know what this situation is to teach you, but they want you to do it.
Okay.
So it could be some people there within that space who you're supposed to inspire us. I don't know.
Wow.
But this voice is something that you will never get away from, babe. You're gonna do no matter what you got going on. This is how you help heal the world. Whoever this lady is, she's an ancestor. It feels like it's on your father's side. Whoever this,
my grandmother.
She loves
my grandmother.
Okay. And she's singing, and it's like she's pushing you, like she's in your space right now to push you to be the best. And she's telling me that whatever whatever, I don't know what it is that you're not feeling about the situation, but Spirit is encouraging you to do it.
Oh wow.
Something about You never know whose eyes on you. You never know what opportunities will lead you to bigger doors of value, which you are walking into. Like expansion. So Spirit is definitely, now you have free will, you have free choice, but Spirit is definitely wanting you to maybe reconsider this opportunity.
It's always been fear of my voice. I've always been, like singing has always been something I've kind of, ran from because I've always been scared to do it. I never used to really believe in my skill and my talent.
I don't know why. Because I played your song the other day. You were singing the other day. I said, oh my God. I was like, oh my God.
And I feel that music has been going crazy here lately. And my grandmother, she just really revealed herself not too long ago. She basically told me, she released her body for me, and she knew that I was going to need her heavier, in this season of my life.
Baby,
and she's by my side. Yeah.
Right here. And she started off singing. And so I'm like, who is this singing? Like, I don't know if she could actually sing, but that could,
That's where we get our voice from. Yeah, that's where I get my voice from.
Okay, because she was singing. I was like, and she's singing Etta James. So I don't know if you've recently heard an Etta James song. Or
what it is, she looks very much like Etta. She looks very much so like Etta James.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's her. We got the confirmation. But yeah, she's this opportunity. She's wanting you to do it. She's like, do it.
Okay.
So, again, you still have free will.
You ain't got to listen. One Spirit tell me to do something, I'm down.
But if you are noticing that you don't want to do this opportunity because of fear of your voice, then this is more than enough. This is why you should do it.
Okay.
You're going to be presented with a lot of opportunities this year, and you can trust them all. Baby, let me tell you something. You are doing your work from a very organic place. And it reminds me so much of me. When I first started out doing my work, like my intention wasn't to be a teacher or a healer or a shaman. I had no intentions on none of that shit. I was just trying to figure it all out. I was just divinely guided. And you have the type of magnetism. Baby, you have the type of magnetism that is so pure that as long as whatever it is that you put your mind and heart into, you're going to yield fruit. You're going to yield no matter what it is, no matter how many projects you have spinning and plates spin. Anything that you put your heart into, you're going to bear fruit. You're going to be, like I said, you're going to be receiving very many opportunities. Your name is going to ring bells. Renowned, well known. This right here, this platform, it's just a small piece. It's just a small piece. All I see is expansion. And when I first looked at you, I saw expansion in gold letters. Whatever inner work that you have done and have done this quickly, all the good karma that you have put into other people, when you didn't get nothing in return, it's harvest season, baby. All the moments you gave, and was beating yourself up for giving, and you said you wasn't gonna give no more, but then you found yourself giving again. It's who you are, baby. You'll never get away from that. That's your gift. But now it's all about you being conscious of who you share that with. But whatever seeds you have planted, especially within the last 3 years, you get ready to bear all that fruit. It may not have one come to the people like you wanted it to, but that's how you know that you're a divine being, because spirit is making sure that it happens for you in different ways.
Oh my God.
So don't hear the same child. Do that a bit.
This is so dope, y'all. This is what, like, my angel numbers, like all kind of stuff, like just, and I know my grandmother is going nuts. Like she's been going nuts in my life here lately, and I feel it, and it's been times where I just like, man, I just want to give up. I want to stop, but I can't. I can't. My spirit will not allow me to. So, Shahil. Oh my God.
When I say, did you get invited to an event? You looked at me like, oh, bitch.
Because I was wondering,
like, you don't feel good about it.
Because I was like, man, I'm a soul singer, man. They, this is a pride event. They want this hype. I was like, I was trying to run from it, but my spirit, so I was just like, just do it. Just go, just do it.
It's something there for you, and it ain't even about you, baby. It's about the inspiration that you are to bring to that space.
Oh my God.
And the healing you're to bring to that space.
Oh my God.
And I see you in an old nasty white piece, honey.
Yes.
Purity, just white. Something nasty, honey. I
will be there in my white.
Hello.
Y'all, listen here. This show, it seems like they get better and better and better and better, and I could not wait for this moment because I've been wanting to tell you face to face that I love you.
I love
and
you.
I appreciate you, and to get that opportunity, like it's been stuff going full circle. I've been able to approach every teacher that has helped me and be able to tell them how much I appreciate and love them. Y'all, I don't even want an explosive talent of the week. I'm not gonna even lie to you. This has went, this has went phenomenal. This has went exactly the way that spirit wanted it to go. Shahil,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You about to be having me on a high all day, baby.
Baby, you just think that I was gonna be the only one crying up in here?
You sparked it.
Oh my
And listen, before we go ahead and shift things, it's somebody's birthday month. Okay. And I have to tell her that I appreciate her and I love her and I thank her for being a part of the Kicking It with Lyrick official show. Tasha the Gemini, when I tell you we've gone through so much together, you've went through a lot of my healing process, and to be able to experience this with you, Queen, is phenomenal, and I love you and watching your growth, and I can't wait to for that baby to come back around so I can spoil her. I love you so much, Queen, and today is your birthday, and the other day was your birthday. I want to tell you happy birthday, baby, and we about to celebrate like we ain't never celebrated before tonight. Do you hear me?
It's the bone structure for me. I'm just
ain't
looking
that bone structure? Check it, baby.
That's from my granny. My granny had them high cheekbones and that tight skin. My granny.
Well, you all, we've come to, unfortunately, the end of the show. What I want to do is, Shahil, I want you to give some final words, but I'm gonna let Onyx tell where she can be found and where people can actually purchase these beautiful units. And also, y'all be looking out for this makeup line that's coming soon.
So you guys can find me on Instagram. It's Beauty by Onyx with an underscore. It's up on this side over here. The next place is going to be Instagram. That's where you're going to get the most updates and everything like that. So just keep the notification on.
Period. Hey, so Tasha the Gemini, we're going to go ahead and bring you on up so you can tell people where they can find you.
Yo, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me everywhere else once you go to Tasha_D_Gemini_. I'll put that in the comments. So whoever needs it, find me. You can find my lip gloss line, my cakes, my TikToks, music, everything. Get at me.
Period, baby. Get at her. And them cakes, baby, y'all don't understand them cakes so far. That Shahil, we gonna have to find a way, baby, to get you one of these cakes, baby. These cakes is fire.
I love the little cake. I love some cake now, honey.
We gonna get you some cake. Listen,
I know how
y'all.
to ship now.
Oh yeah, you do. We're gonna have to make that happen. What I'm gonna do, Queens, I'm gonna put y'all in the back, and I'm going to allow Shahil to give us some closing words. All right. I love y'all. We'll be back there in a little moment.
Bye.
Shahil, go ahead and bless them with some final words.
Have I not said enough?
You said a lot. You said a lot, baby.
Kidding. First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on and connecting with you and be a part of your beautiful platform. Thank you for honoring me as I honor you. The only final words that I really have for today is for the people is to start to find ways to get out of your head and get into your heart space. Your heart is never going to steer you wrong when you allow yourself to tap into its energy. So even when you're faced with challenges and problems, take some time to get out of your head and just sit within the space within your heart and see what that feels like. And allow that to help you start navigating your journey more. Other than that, be kind to others, be the example or be the energy that you would like to see being, being projected within the world. There's so much disdain and just so much confusion and confrontation and just drama that we as a society experience on a daily basis. And I'm just really encouraging people to really take accountability for their own space and the way in which they govern themselves. Like, I'm really promoting that people just, become better versions of yourself every day, and don't rush the process. But make sure that you're doing something every day that is going to impact you in a way to where you can be better than you were the day before.
Yes. Shahil, I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too.
I'm going to put you in the back. Stay there for a minute.
Okay.
We'll be in the back in a little bit.
Okay.
Listen, y'all. Listen. Today has been amazing. And right when we getting ready to leave, the camera want to act up. But listen, today has been amazing. I really don't even have to say anything else. To all my evolutionary manifestors, make sure you continue working, continue evolving, and continue transforming into the person that you were designed to be, knowing that you have everything on the inside of you to become the person that you were meant to become, okay? I love each and every one of you all. And until next week, Ashe.